Arigatou gozaimasu. I'm Amos Lee. Do I look like a Japanese? I don't think so. But many of you may think that I sounded like a Hong Kong Chinese. I'm also not. I'm actually 100%, okay? A Singaporean who basically works overseas for many years. I've been working in the overseas property industry for more than 23 years. And as a CEO of FMI Japan, many of you might have seen me in many media interviews, reports, and articles. Many years ago, buying an overseas property in Singapore was not that popular or essential. But now, overseas property is becoming one of the most essential for ones to diversify its investments or using part of your saving for future move. As a senior executive, I was able to cross-travel to many countries. I've been to many cities in China, Japan, UK, Australia, and Thailand. These are the few markets that I'm extremely familiar with. But if you ask me where do I invested most outside Singapore, my immediate answer will be UK and the Japan. Especially investing into Japan, where my personal liking and my passions are all about. In 2015, I founded FMI Japan and engaged intensively into property development, investment, and management. But how did I enter into Japanese market? Just like many Singaporeans who love traveling to Japan for its food and its culture, I basically traveled to Japan at least twice a year from leisure before the COVID. 15 years ago, I was thinking how to own a Japan property for my retirement or for my holiday home. However, there are three factors that deters me to do so. Number one was the insufficient information available for foreigners like us to buy a Japan property. In the conservative environment, buying a Japan property was extremely difficult for foreigners. Number two was because there was no mortgage available for foreigners like us. And number three, which is the major factor, that the yen was too expensive before 2014 and make it so unattractive for me to invest into. Yet all these three factors were all cleared in 2014 when the Japanese government actually opened up for the economic reform to allow overseas buyers to buy property, depreciated the yen for more than 35%, and what's the most attractive is that overseas buyers like us can actually take loans in Japan. Investors like me went straight into the market, and right after that, the news came in when Tokyo Olympic was going to be in Japan, Tokyo in 2020. And investors like me make it perfect sense to go into the right market then. With my investment plan in Japan, I decided to offload some of my UK property so that I can afford to buy my first land in Japan. And that's how I started my business in Japan as a property developer. In recent years, I've been sharing many of my views and experiences in different publications and media interviews. In fact, in Hong Kong, I'm a columnist for many different newspapers and magazines. Over the last few years, I've even published 2 books on property investments for international properties. In my books and columns, I've not only written about the purpose of investing into different cities, but also the ups and downs, also about the pitfalls and traps too. As I truly believe that a good investment should require a clear and precise buying procedures and highlighted to clients the potential risk too. I found it very meaningful, not just because I'm passionate about telling people what to invest to, but also it's time for us to review our assets allocation in this particular COVID season. Who knows what happened next? Some of you might be still hesitated to invest into Japan property, but it's okay. Just watch out for our FMI Japan, different videos or different sharing review on Japan property. Check it out.